Alien Stage is the latest musical project from the Korean animation channel, Vivinos. I have discussed Vivinos at length in the past, as well as discussed the previous round, Round 1, in another video, as well as the prologue teaser on stream, which you can click above in the top right to watch a playlist of now to get yourself up to speed. But, right now, Round 2, quite aptly enough, is the second round of this Battle Royale SingStar tournament. And to be honest, apologies for being crass here, but this flipping slaps. Everything from the music to the smooth like butter animation, and at the same time, the video's narrative and plot retain some of the core themes and stylistic choices that Vivinos has become known for. Doomed and unrequited love, shocking and disturbing moments, as well as moments that just kind of make you pause the video and say, "Did that guitar have intestines?" To be honest, this is one of the few Vivinos songs I would actively go out of my way to listen to, and the song here just goes hard. I'll gush about how much I enjoyed the video later on, but for now let's dive into the narrative of this music video, as well as some of the things you may have missed or may find interesting. So the video itself begins with Till, the protagonist of this round. If you couldn't tell, he's the one with the actual character design, not the NPC looking dude in the background. Anyway, it starts off with these two characters on the tournament round screen, which we've seen a couple times at this point, showing us that this is in fact round 2. Shocker! The two are then seen on an elevator that rises upwards, bringing them towards the stage for the next round. But there is something hidden in this shot. If you look closely, just look at the state of that guitar. Is that a hand grip on the side? It's the future, and guitars are still using this many wires. We even see later in the video that the headstock of the guitar is floating and not connected to the rest of the guitar. Yet despite the fact that pieces are floating, this guitar needs this many wires. It's a random design choice that blows my mind for no reason. Random tangent aside, the characters then proceed to go up, and we get a shot of them from behind. We see the two, and we see that they're pretty much wearing very similar clothes, white t-shirt and trousers, but despite that, they still look very different. As a result, we kind of know immediately which one of these characters isn't going to live throughout the rest of the music video. We also see what appears to be a chain or some sort of restraint around Till's neck, almost resembling a noose, as they continue towards the stage. Once they reach the stage, a small beat starts in the background, but as Till raises his guitar pick and slams it down, he cuts through the silence. As the guitar strum echoes throughout the arena, we see how high the restraint around his neck goes. We also see the amount of flashing lights and eyes surrounding him. And we see the reaction of the other contestant next to him, reacting to Till about to hit this fat guitar riff. Kick drums then come in as we see Till slowly walk forward. We see his guitar covered in wires and an eyeball. Ew. We see his face looking surprisingly calm, which is a bit of a juxtaposition with his emotions throughout the rest of the video. We see him in orange trousers and barefoot, resembling a prisoner quite a bit. Then he starts playing his guitar, and as he begins, he also starts to sing with the line. We cut to see Till on stage from a distance, singing from the side. We can't even see the other contestant anymore. It's just him on stage, and it's pretty much going to remain that way for the rest of the video. As he starts playing, the title card comes in, Alien Stage. Till, maintaining his composure, continues to play whilst looking somewhat stoic and collected. Then he turns to his left and sees the pro tag from the previous round. And thanks for letting me know in the comments, but we now know that this character is called Mizi. M-I-Z-I, I think. For the sake of argument, I'll call her Mizzy, just so it's easier for me to say. I've seen people call her different names, but as it says Mizi on Vivinos' Twitter, I'll go with that one. Also, a quick note about the song itself once it starts. It feels a lot more punkish and rock. Given how Till is dressed, it makes a lot of sense, but to be honest, I wouldn't call it 100% full-on punk rock, London's Calling by The Clash, at least in regards to the music itself. Whilst I know it's just a sheer complete tonal shift from all of Vivinos' other music, making use of guitars and drum kits and heavy use of kick drums, from what I can tell, this is unlike most of Vivinos' other stuff, which is usually much more synthetic sounding, which makes sense given what the PBC is. But overall, this song feels like a rock song with a little bit of punk in it and a little bit of metal later on, which is weird. I'll explain why. It's pretty nice. And out of Vivinos' discography, I'd say that this is some of my favourite music, except Otomoroid. Otomoroid slaps. Otomoroid is the GOAT. He told me. Oh yeah, Alien Stage. Till sees a post-round 1 Mizzy looking quite dejected for obvious reasons. We then flash back to why Till is seeing her in his mind whilst on stage right now. Why is he thinking about her? We flash back to him observing SUA and Mizzy together in their artificial landscape / prison cell, having fun together. Then we see that Till himself is covered in injuries. As he can see them right now, it would make sense that Till himself snuck out to see them, as we don't see Till with anyone else. It's safe to assume that, for now, that he was left alone in his cell for most of the time. Unlike SUA and Mizzy, who had each other, Till was all on his own. The song continues, Till continues to play, until we get a shot of him bashing himself against a wall, bruises on his face, and his collar glowing red like the pet human we saw in the previous round. The song continues and we see another flashback. Till hiding some flowers that were used to make a flower crown in SUA's and Mizzy's room. Till hides the flowers behind his back with handcuffed hands, whilst what must be Till's owner, I guess, in the doorway, which is then followed by a shot of Till covered in bruises and blood. We then get a glitch transition, which is followed by what appears to be Till writing songs and practicing in his cell. It appears that after he snuck out of his cell that the security around him has increased. As we see him in his cell, this is when Till's lyrics also start to come in more. I'll only talk about the lyrics that I feel have really large, significant narrative importance. For example, "Nothing was my everything, the melody that filled the empty me. It's you, alright?" From this, I interpreted that Till was feeling quite hollow and lonely before he met Mizzy for obvious reasons, but once he heard her melody, it filled his emptiness. As we see in the flashback, when Till observes the two in their prison cell, he sees them singing and hears them. We then get a couple shots of Mizzy singing with a white background behind her. We then see the sheet music for the songs that Till was writing, which also contains some drawings of Mizzy adorning them. We then return to the present. "I want to know all about you." This quite obviously signifies that despite all of them being child slaves, being forced into the same competition, most of the people participating in this tournament haven't really had too much interaction between each other, as well as the obvious romantic connotation of wanting to know more about someone you're interested in. We then get a nice little juxtaposition between the life of the two girls and Till. The two girls happily celebrating the passing of their exam, surrounded by light, dressed in white, happy and smiling. Meanwhile, the opposite is happening to Till. When we see him, the only light surrounding him is from the hologram in front of him. The word pass is the only light in the room, as he is also adorned in black clothes. But when he looks into the hologram, he sees a vision of Mizzy appear before him, whilst a very important lyric plays. "The edelweiss of my feelings that blossomed because of you." Now, this lyric can mean a lot of different things in different contexts, so I'm going to keep my interpretation of it relatively simple as to not overcomplicate it. The edelweiss, I like pronouncing that, is a fun word to say, is a flower. Great, more flower symbolism, which I absolutely love, but the edelweiss, while having multiple meanings, usually has the connotation of purity and nobility, and on top of that, it's somewhat of a rare flower, as it can only be grown in really high altitudes, making, as some describe, a somewhat lonely flower that can only really grow in places like the Alps. Well, what does this mean in the context of Alien Stage? I mean, it must have been used for a reason, right? It could mean that Till's feelings of loneliness blossomed after seeing and hearing Mizzy sing. I personally see the line as having meaning that Till's lonely existence had no feeling, but since he heard Mizzy and saw her, his feelings blossomed, she became his everything. I mean, in 99% of the shots of this video, if Till isn't playing some sick tunes on his guitar, he's fantasizing or doing something in relation to Mizzy. But that's my opinion on the line. There's also more in-depth interpretations you can look over with the specific history of that flower, but you can look that up yourself and feel free to let me know in the comments. However, this line is also followed by another interesting line, "You'll never know," which is somewhat sung in the background as an echo, probably alluding to the fact that these two characters will never really have a direct interaction with each other that isn't on stage. They will never get the chance to probably meet if they haven't already, which is kind of a bit sad, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. But that's how I see these lines and how I interpret them, so please let me know your interpretation below. We then get yet another flashback to Till watching Mizzy on stage during the previous round, in round 1. It seems that the security around him has further increased as we see him with a gag in his mouth. Oh, Vivinos, you and your yaoi. I don't think this time is enough, yet again alluding to the fact that they don't have any time together. The closest to them being together is them passively watching each other on stage for a couple minutes at a time. Still, it's not enough for me, alright? Till, despite being forced to wear a collar, handcuffs, gag, still wants to spend more time with Mizzy. Still though, I think that it's quite intriguing that we don't really see Till's reaction to what happened to SUA on stage. Like, was he shocked and felt bad for Mizzy, or was he glad that there was less competition? Who knows? Lily da da da. Why? It's catchy. So the song continues bopping, Till keeps playing, but then the NPC character in the background realised that, you know, this is an elimination tournament, so he better get some lines in before he just immediately loses. He needs to sing. But as soon as he is about to, Till smashes his guitar, causing it to explode with green goop and...
Dorgan! Hello!
I noticed that there's a minor graphical error here. Just above the unnamed contestant's head, you can see that there's a little shadow above him that kind of just cuts off for some reason. I noticed that. I mean, it's just like a little minor graphical thing. It's barely noticeable. To be honest, I don't know how I managed to pick it, but anyway, back to...
Round 2.
Just before the guitar smash, which I will admit is pretty punk rock. The lyric, "You're the one I'm feeling, it's love." That line seems pretty self-explanatory to me. What I love about it is what comes afterwards. When the opponent tries to sing, instead of Till's opponent's voice coming out, we get a guttural death growl from Till, which sounds like something straight from a death metal song. It's kind of quiet, but it's pretty sick. It's something like, it just sounds really cool. We then see Till smiling, covered in sweat, post guitar smash, looking quite proud in my opinion. We then see Mizzy raise her head slightly, reacting to what Till did. We see Till triumphantly turn to see Mizzy with her head raised, watching him. Then we see that the aliens watching, I guess, don't really like rock music or smashing guitars despite how objectively cool both of those things are. And they kind of just go into a panic. Then we see that although they didn't seem to like it, as they have their fists raised in anger, pointing in confusion, or just sweat profusely, Till still wins, meaning that the NPC looking dude just got murked off screen. Like, goddamn. One little nitpick I have about this series so far. I wish it was more like Danganronpa. Okay, let me explain. In Danganronpa, every character, like even like non-important characters who will die immediately, they're all super over-designed, so you don't really know who's going to die. And as a result, when you see any of the characters die, since they all look like main characters, it'll shock you immediately. No one started watching this music video and went, I think that really boring guy in the background, yeah, he's going to win, he's got this in the bag. The arena is just completely aghast, as if this performance was so fire it caused a public emergency. Then we see Q-Meng and Vivinos' yaoi roots come in, as we see Till smiling as he's pinned to the ground by multiple men. So, we then get one final shot of Till passing out after being beaten, Mizzy beside him, and this character with the tsundere snaggletooth. I feel like I've seen this character's name somewhere on Twitter or something. Could someone please tell me in the comments what the character with the black hair is called, or if we even know, because I'm not sure. We get one final graphic showing that this is the end of round 2, and then we get the credits. My overall thoughts on this video are that narratively, everything we see solely in this video without further context provided from subsequent videos is relatively simple. Till has been literally raised in complete solitude from what we can tell, and as a result, after he had a small glance of Mizzy and heard her singing, he immediately became infatuated. And since that was his real outside contact that we know of with other humans, he just became obsessed. He seemingly attempts to sneak out a couple times to see her, but as a result had more security placed on him, more so than other contestants. I mean, just look at the massive rope around his neck. The song itself reflects it through its lyrics, whilst the music itself is a weird rock song with a little bit of metal and a little bit of punk rock in it, which reinforces the narrative of trying to break free from the constraints placed on you by higher powers. I mean, in the world of music, you can't get more anti-establishment and more do what you want attitude than punk rock. And if I was in this world, I feel like I'd be pretty punk rock too. I don't think I'd want to be a child slave either. Regarding the black-haired character, who I'll just refer to as Snaggletooth from now on, because I really don't know their name. Q-Meng made artwork of this character a little bit ago, and probably has a little bit of foreshadowing for the upcoming rounds. Who knows? I mean, a lot of the artwork shown off on Vivinos' Twitter shows something foreshadowing upcoming events. I mean, look at this piece showing off Till and Mizzy. This was released a good minute or two before the video actually came out, so keep an eye on their Twitter for more hints. Also, one more piece of art I want to mention from their Twitter is this. This character seems to act as somewhat of a teacher in the artwork, and we see her in the teaser and stuff. I have the feeling that she's somewhat of like a mother from the Promised Neverland. Maybe she was like in a previous tournament and survived. Now she has to train in the new competitors for the tournament. And my guess is that if she has a video of her own, it'll be about her feeling guilty or about that or something. I don't know. But there is one prediction I will make, which I promise you will come true. Till ain't gonna survive. Probably, it's not gonna happen immediately, but this dude, despite making some really, really dope music and actually dressing pretty cool, 100% he ain't living till the end. Please let me know your predictions and interpretations in the comments below. Please feel free to follow my socials, and I've literally just started a Patreon if you want to support the channel further. But now, time for the outro. Hello, thanks for watching and thanks for supporting the channel so much recently. We're nearly at 10,000 subscribers, which is a bit insane. It's a big number. And just in case if you're wondering, yes, the anime horror iceberg thingy, it's still getting worked on, but alongside YouTube shorts and other videos. There's a lot of projects I'm working on at the moment, but trust me, it is still coming out. Thanks again for the continued support. Nearly at 10k. Insane. And yeah. Toodles my doodles, hopefully see you in the next one. Peace.
Josh, welcome to the party. Thank you for subscribing.